For the last 20 years or so, digital advertising has really been built on one simple transaction, the keyword bid. Today, we're going to break down why that entire foundation is crumbling and what's being built to replace it. Let's get right into it.
Look, let's just be completely direct here. The whole practice of bidding on a single, isolated keyword, it's obsolete. It's done. The entire ecosystem that was built to support it is being replaced by something else, something totally different, and it's all being driven by AI. The game has changed. The old rules, they just don't apply anymore.
And that, of course, leads to the big question for every single performance marketer out there. If you're not bidding on keywords, what are you bidding on? The answer isn't just a new type of keyword. It's a whole new type of currency. Now, to really get a handle on this new currency, you first have to understand the new consumer. We're talking about a major behavioral shift. We're moving from a world of people searching to a world of people delegating. The user isn't just typing anymore, they're giving commands. This is what's known as the rise of the agentic consumer. This slide really just lays it all out, right? It perfectly shows that shift. On the left, you have the past. A user types a very specific tactical query, something like Paris flights. The intent is singular, it's transactional. But on the right, you see the future. Here, the user is delegating an entire project. Plan my anniversary trip to Paris for next spring. This isn't a search, it's a whole life event that they're asking an AI to manage. And this is all happening because people are they're bypassing the old gatekeepers. They're not going to a search bar first. Instead, they're using what's being called agentic browsing, basically navigating the web through AI agents. And you can see the key players emerging here. Companies like OpenAI, Perplexity, they're building the new front doors to the internet. So here's the really crucial point. The conversational nature of these AI agents gives us a much clearer, much earlier window into what the buyer actually wants. Instead of trying to piece together someone's intent from a scattered trail of keywords, the AI captures the user's entire goal right at the beginning of their journey. It gets the what and the why before a single traditional search is even run. This huge shift in user behavior has forced a tectonic change in how all of this is monetized. I mean, think about it. If users aren't searching for keywords, you can't sell bids on them. So, this brings us to the new arena, the outcome-based auction. So what is an outcome-based auction? It's a new model where advertisers are bidding on the successful completion of a user's goal. We're not talking about clicks or impressions tied to a query anymore. The focus now is on intent clusters, life events, and task completion. You're not buying a word, you're buying a result. And this comparison just makes that strategic shift so tangible. The old battle was bidding on the query Paris flights. Simple enough. The new battle, though, is about owning the entire moment, the whole holiday planning bundle. And that outcome doesn't just include the flight. It's the hotel, the travel insurance, maybe even the dinner reservations. The fight is no longer about winning one transaction. It's about owning the entire journey from start to finish. Okay, so how do brands even begin to compete here? You can't just use the old playbook, that's for sure. It's going to require a complete strategic pivot. You have to move from defending keyword positions to proactively making your brand, your products, and your services completely understandable to AI. And this pivot actually has a name. It's called Generative Engine Optimization, or GEO. You can think of it as the direct successor to SEO. Instead of optimizing for how a search engine crawler ranks your links, you are now optimizing for how a generative AI engine can parse, understand, and then use your information. Now, the playbook for this, which we're calling agentic optimization, it's pretty technical, but it's absolutely essential. Let's just walk through the 4 key steps. First, you have to structure your content. This means using a really clear hierarchy, heading tags, H1s, H2s, so an AI can navigate your information like it's a map. Second, you've got to enrich your metadata. Think of this as feeding the AI crucial context. You'll be tagging everything, who the audience is, product versions, even compliance info. Third is chunking your content. You need to break it all down into these digestible 300 to 500 word units that AI systems can easily grab and process. And finally, step 4, ensure provenance. This just means embedding traceable sources and citations. It's how the AI learns to trust that your information is credible and can present it with confidence. And of course, this new playbook is going to require a new kind of practitioner. The role of the performance marketer is evolving, big time. It's becoming more technical, more deeply tied into data architecture. You're no longer just a marketer. You are a context engineer. So what exactly is context engineering? Well, it's the practice of wrangling the right data to the right AI at the right time. Your job is now to make sure that when an AI agent needs to accomplish a task for a user, your brand's information is the most accurate, the most relevant, and the most well-structured context it can possibly find.
And listen, this isn't some far off, distant future. The sources we're looking at are pretty clear on the timeline. As this quote says, the transition from bidding on individual queries to owning entire moments is the defining challenge of 2026. The platforms are already shifting, the ad budgets are already starting to follow.
So we'll leave you with this final thought. In this new outcome economy, your brand's visibility, its very survival, it all depends on its AI readability. So the question you have to ask yourself isn't about your keyword rank anymore. It's about whether your context is engineered to win.